Start streaming. Stream is booting up. Sometime today, and we're on. Goody, goody, goody. Welcome back to another riveting edition of Weaponized Autism. I'm your host, some Sped, back with another Sped. And
Yep.
And today, we are going to be talking about the RE2 remake 4 years later. I guess it recently turned 4 years old. I haven't been keeping track. Too much shit to play.
Yeah, 4 years ago today, I was hopping on that shit, like, right quick.
Yeah,
And 2 weeks ago marks 4 years since I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning just to play the demo. So, limited to 30-minute demo. And 2 weeks ago marks 4 years since I...
Damn it, I thought I killed the volume on my phone.
I've done that too.
Well, this bucket of shit. Anyways. Yeah, unfortunately, I did not get to play it until roughly 2 years after it came out. I was working a shit job in 2019 that did not pay well and did not have good hours. But then 2020, I had a different job and was able to finally afford a PS4 come Black Friday that year, and this was one of the games I purchased along with it. Yeah, I remember I bought this, the RE3 remake, Uncharted 4, Spider-Man, Tomb Raider 2013, and the 2016 remake of Ratchet & Clank.
Yeah, I didn't particularly care for the newer Ratchet & Clanks.
I've only played the first one and parts of the second one.
Trying to think of the one where he was in that mechanical suit. The black mechanical suit.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Ratchet Deadlock or something?
Probably. And just to give you guys a quick heads up before we really get into talking about the game itself, my Sonic Frontiers playthrough is complete. It's been fully recorded, and I'm in the editing stages now. Because I am adopting the long play format for my videos, I know the last poll I put up got a majority vote for series, but I kind of prefer the long play myself. I'm in the editing stages for Sonic Frontiers, and I started with about 19 hours and 20 minutes of footage. I am currently down to 16 and a half hours of footage to work with. So, at a minimum, the Sonic Frontiers playthrough will be about 2 videos, at least. Because I want to keep these videos at a minimum below 8 hours apiece.
For sure.
Which, if I ever decide to one of these days I will be long playing the Resident Evil games, and I shouldn't have too much of a problem with that issue, because most of these games clock in at under 7 or 8 hours. I think my final playtime for this in both scenarios came in at under 6 hours. I don't remember the exact times, but well, that's appetizing.
Oh lordy.
It's like a piece of beef jerky just hanging out of his mouth.
Good God.
I gotta say, I love the fact that you can't just one and done headshot the zombies in this game, because that would make it just insanely easy.
And they probably get sued by AMC.
Yeah, it just makes it that would make it way too easy. I remember.
Hey, one thing common with the original is that heads will randomly explode.
Yeah.
Unless they're already dead and you constantly shoot at them.
There's Leon and his.
They're already dead until their head explodes.
Oh, there's Leon and his I can't believe it's not Nick Carter from NSYNC looking ass. At least with the hair.
Bye.
I want to make an Aaron Carter joke, but it's a little too soon right now, I think.
Oh, for sure. Don't do it. Don't do it. Gonna quote Big Breaking Bad, like, don't do it, Hank! Don't do it! You're gonna piss off a lot of girls in the chat.
Girls probably our age, roughly. Mid-20s, early 30s age.
I'll officially be in my mid-20s come November.
Yeah? Well, I'll be 30 next month.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. I was waiting for you to say it.
Yeah, the big 3-0.
You're the same age as Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have no problem with that, because Jurassic Park is a fucking fantastic movie.
Yeah, that's 2 out of 3 of my favorite things that came out in 1993. There's also, of course, Power Rangers, which, don't ask me why Saban is doing a 30th anniversary reunion when literally two of the key players are fucking dead.
Yeah.
There was also the release of Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. Not a direct sequel to the first one, but it's to differentiate it from the original 70s version, which came out like 19 years before, and it was the first Godzilla. It was actually the first Japanese Godzilla film I actually watched all the way through.
I love this opening.
Godzilla 98 over and over again.
Sorry to kick in on you like that, but I just love this opening montage.
Oh, yeah.
And the big pull out to the Resident Evil logo. It feels wrong. It feels wrong, the title coming up without that goofy, dramatic Resident Evil 2.
Well, if you have the classic soundtrack turned on, you get that at the opening menu.
Yeah, that's true. And I didn't do...
But the problem is, it's not the original voice. It sounds like the voice from Resident Evil 6.
Yeah. Now, I did not have classic soundtrack turned on for Claire's half of the story. I had it turned on for Leon's. And whoever decided to give Resident Evil whoever decided to, I guess, make the soundtrack less noticeable with the updated soundtrack should have been laughed out of the Capcom offices. One of the things
I was gonna say taken out back and shot in the leg, but that works too.
But one of the things that is so memorable about the original RE2, and this guy's day just got worse. One of the most memorable things about the original RE2 is that soundtrack, is that dark, ominous, piano-laden soundtrack, and it doesn't quite have the same effect. The new score didn't quite have, for me, the same effect as the original did. It was kind of just there. It was kind of just like if you knew certain themes like the hall, like the entrance theme, the entrance hall theme in the police station, or the save room theme, like yeah, you could recognize certain key uh, pieces of the score, but most of it was just kind of not there.
Yeah. And with that score, it's with the fixed camera angles, you can't exactly look around the corners, so it's basically ominous. Like, oh, you don't know what's around that corner in the fixed camera angle.
Yeah, and I argue that one of the most important aspects of horror in any medium, whether it's a horror movie or a horror video game or a novel, is the atmosphere. That
Yeah.
that original soundtrack was the dictionary definition of atmospheric. And I get wanting to go for a more subtle approach, like the RE1 remake. I thought had a very subtle and very ominous score to it, but you still like there are still certain themes from the RE1 remake that I just love. Lisa Trevor's theme, of course, being one of the best pieces of music in that game.
I still say the Resident Evil 2 remake should have had like a fixed camera angles mode or a first person mode.
Probably,
Instead of, having to see and mod it.
yeah. I mean, there are fixed camera angle and first person mods for the God. You I will never get over how much more how harder they leaned into the art museum uh, background of the police station.
Yeah, because they really established that in the original game that the police station used to be an art museum, but God knows why they changed it into a police station.
Yeah, it certainly explains the goofy architecture.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a police. That's why it doesn't look like a traditional police station.
Yeah.
And someone picks up the wrong thing, like, ooh, shiny, pretty. Your fellow officer is going to be trapped behind there until your dumbass decides to finally put it back.
Just make sure you don't have Bernie Madoff or Garrett from Thief in your cells, because you're going to lose all your shit.
Yeah. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. The handy dandy map. I have no comments to make for the map. I do have a comment here. How in the ever-loving fuck did you half submerge yourself in blood on the floor and it not get stuck to your clothes, Claire?
Video game logic.
Very much.
Yeah, you shoot on them up close and the blood splatters on you.
Right. But
or you take damage and it if you don't change your costume, if you don't switch to another costume and switch right back, you're stuck with that mark on your character for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
That's what I always do. I just switch to the casual costume, switch back to the classic police uniform.
I actually like that their clothing shifts in appearance as the game progresses, kind of like how the story progresses in the Arkham games. The bat suit progressively gets more and more damaged. Or
yeah, I still wish there were settings where it didn't do that, but oh well.
I like it because it adds to the realism.
Yeah. But then again, I barely use the main skin anymore. And those Well, Arkham Asylum didn't really have any alternate skins except for the armored suit, but that was only available in the challenge maps.
Yep.
But in Arkham City, Arkham Origins, and Arkham Knight, I barely used the default skin, so I haven't really noticed it these last few years.
So long, Elliot.
I personally wouldn't care if they did the whole. What was I gonna say? Okay, personally, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't care if they did the battle damage on the DLC skins as well. If you play for the whole game as them, like if they decide to put that in, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Like I'd still play it. Really gets my fingers going. Especially the combat challenge maps, pressing X, Y, X, Y, certain button combinations to.
Oh, this guy is an asshole. I was specifically trying to get him to go over the desk so I could juke him. It just looks good on the footage, but he wanted to be an asshole and be like, "Oh no, this time I'm not going over the table." I think I just popped her head, which is a hell of an accomplishment for a 38.
Yeah, welcome to Resident Evil, where 1911s take 9mm.
Hey, there are some models of 1911 that are chambered in 9mm.
I believe it.
Just like there are some revolvers that I think there are some revolvers like Claire's that are chambered in 9mm, but that's in real life that's a 38.
I would, but the 1911, well, the M19, as it's called in the Resident Evil 2 remake, I just call it Marvin's gun.
Yeah.
That gun's actually chambered in 45mm you can pick up. The only downside is he does that goofy gangster aim.
Yeah. Yeah, because
And it's like it's a good pistol, but the way he aims it just throws me off.
well, it was the 90s.
Imagine if Marvin took one look at him doing that, raised his own gun, and shot him in the back of the head.
Now we know how Leon shot his partner in the ass in Welcome to Raccoon City.
It would not surprise me at all.
The way he was written in that movie, it would not surprise me.
I don't care what anyone says. That was a good movie.
Yeah. And I love the... I love...
It was a better...
Sorry.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I just love the fact that Leon was portrayed as a bumbling fuck-up in that movie, because the CGI Resident Evil movies, they worship Leon so hard. Like you've got all these other characters from the games that you can utilize, and you keep going back to Leon, like Claire and...
Yeah, that's my main complaint with Vendetta. I mean, they brought back Rebecca Chambers to the storyline, but they reduced her to a damn damsel in distress.
Yeah, you had Claire Redfield in Degeneration and Infinite Darkness. You had Ada in Damnation. You had Chris and Rebecca in Vendetta. But you kept...
When are Leon and Jill gonna meet?
Right? Well, RE9 apparently Capcom wants to put focus back on the classic characters with RE9, so maybe that might be in the cards.
Yeah, and if they're going to do this, where they pick a subtitle where they can mark it to make the Roman numeral for the numbered installment, like Village, the part of it's the Roman numeral for 8.
Yeah.
They could name this next one Resident Evil 9 Phoenix.
Well,
And the Roman numeral for 9 is IX. So that's an easy. Just do it like Village Resident Evil, like how it is on the front cover. Instead of Resident Evil Village, it's big letters Village Resident Evil.
Right.
Do the same thing. Do the same thing for Resident Evil 9. Like just Phoenix Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I just think that way they do that is badass.
You'd have to find a good reason to give it the Phoenix subtitle, though.
Oh, there's also Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Yeah,
which
I was gonna say.
Funny enough, in Japan, guess what it's called in Japan?
Yeah, that's Resident Evil's known as Biohazard in Japan.
Yeah, 7 seconds. That's 7 meaning the number of seconds put into the thought of the title.
Yeah.
Hey, it's still hey. I don't care. It's still it's not my favorite in the series, but I like it for the simple fact it saved the franchise pretty much.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Revelations 1 and 2 were baby steps in the right direction. Which I know Revelations, the 3DS version, came out before RE6 did, but
3 Resident Evil games came out that year, and only one of them was really good.
Yeah.
Revelations.
Yeah.
I like the other 2, but they were trying. Well, Resident Evil 6 was. I'm probably gonna catch some heat for this, but it's just my honest opinion. I like these games, but Resident Evil 6 was trying too hard to be Army of Two, and Operation Raccoon City was trying too hard to be Call of Duty.
I mean, with 6, it was like a melting pot of a bunch of shit that just did not gel together. Army of Two, Call of Duty, Gears of War, Dead Space, which emulating Dead Space for Resident Evil seems like a load of shit considering Dead Space took its influence from Resident Evil. Specifically at Resident Evil 4. It's like now you're imitating your imitators. Isn't this what put the Alone in the Dark franchise on hiatus for 8 years? Because New Nightmare was a Resident Evil clone?
Pretty much. Now let's not forget 2 days that. Hey, actually, 2 days from now is when the Dead Space remake drops.
Yeah. Which I'm hoping to be able to pick up a Series X when my tax returns come in.
Yeah, that's probably what we're doing when we get our taxes back. We're gonna upgrade to the next Xbox.
Yeah.
And if not, then my friends got a PS. My friends here have a PS4. I can ask them like, hey, can I get a Resident Evil? Can I if I were to buy Resident Evil 4 for the PS4, can I play it on your PS4?
Yeah.
Because it's also going to be on PS4, but why is it not coming to Xbox One?
Right.
Capcom's sales are going to tank in the Xbox department.
Well, for some reason, Sony.
I don't think they're worried. I don't think they're worried because their PS4 sales are probably going to shoot up.
Well, yeah, Sony pays through the ass for exclusivity deals, which often serves as a detriment to a game's success. Square Enix's new release, Forspoken, is the newest victim of that. But then again, Forspoken is an open world game made by Square Enix, so it's going to bomb anyway.
Square Enix had some good games, but they got downhill in recent years. Not sorry.
The last game they made that I actually liked, like that Square Enix made that I actually liked, was maybe Kingdom Hearts 2. I haven't played Kingdom Hearts 3 yet.
I haven't played a single Kingdom I haven't played a single Kingdom Hearts game in like probably 15 years.
Whew. Yeah, I played the first two on the PS2 way back in the day, but I have not I haven't played the remastered versions, nor have I played Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, speaking of PlayStation, Sony, where the hell's the update for that Jack and Daxter movie?
right?
That's actually something that finally I'm interested in. I'm actually in one. Well, apart from Uncharted, I'm actually interested in something Sony's actually doing.
Right.
I mean, I'm current. I'm currently waiting until all the Last of Us show is on the thing before I watch it all.
Same.
Because I'm all for the whole, one episode, dropping one episode every week because that's the equivalent to catching it on TV every week. But
yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. I would rather just have them all in one go, but I get that.
Like Netflix, at least Netflix still does that. Well, can't say the same about Stranger Things. They released the first half of the season, and then the next half, but it's not like a single episode at a time, so I'll let it slide.
I still haven't gone beyond the first episode of Stranger Things.
Yeah, this recent season, the character Vecna, it looks like a Freddy Krueger tyrant hybrid.
Is played by Robert Englund.
No, Robert Englund is in the show, but he is not Vecna.
Okay.
He plays like he plays a hallucination of like a man with no eyes. Like an old man with no eyes. But Vecna is literally not Vecna is literally a ripoff of Pennywise from It.
That doesn't surprise me. I mean, why not?
It's 10 to 80, so it really shouldn't be surprising either way.
Yeah. I mean, that show Dick rides the 80s anyway, so hard anyways, just from what I've seen.
Yeah. I remember once seeing something that said, Bob from Stranger Things looks like Doug from 50 First Dates, and it's like Samwise Gamgee did not cross to Mordor just to be recognized as Doug from 50 First Dates or Bob from Stranger Things.
Right.
He did not cross Middle Earth to get to Mordor just to be recognized as those two characters, but not Samwise Gamgee. Have you been eavesdropping?
You, as like
Yes. Sean Astin was also in, I want to say, the last season of Big Bang Theory. Him and some Indian dude were playing physicists. Well, actually, fraud physicists who are trying to copy off of Sheldon and Amy's idea, but they eventually get exposed, and yeah. But I only like that for the simple fact that at one point in that season, we hear Sean Astin's character yelling, "Son of a bitch!"
No, that was just cruel. Making Leon's first assignment unlocking his desk.
Yeah, Leon. Hey, imagine if the Raccoon City outbreak never happened, but Chaos would still be at the police station because he would take one look at that, look up at his fellow officers at his desk, pull out his Matilda, and here we are live from Raccoon City Police Department where Leon lost control.
Rookie police officer loses his marbles. More details at 11. I also love how they have a space between where the second L originally was in welcome. It's like, that's not how you spell welcome, dumbass.
It's like, Oh yeah, 7 people report injury, rushed to the hospital, and authorities had this to say: "Damn it, Leon," or just straight up, "Damn."
like a Ron Simmons on WWE. Damn. Oh, the locker room. Nothing good ever happens in the locker room.
You're talking about the locker room where you gotta find a valve to turn off this steam?
Yeah.
It's like, Leon, be a man. Just run past it. It's not gonna kill you in real life.
Oh wait, not that locker room. I'm talking to the one with the. Depending on who you're playing as, it either holds a grenade launcher or a shotgun.
Oh, the weapons locker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I grabbed. That's where he. Isn't that where he grabbed the? Actually, no. That's the RE. It's the Resident Evil 3 remake where you grab the battery.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's up in the. No, it's been a while since I've played both of these games, so I don't remember the exact placement of all of them. Now my cat wants attention.
Yeah, the frickin' Resident Evil 2 remake, where we gotta frickin' find the valve handle to find the valve handle to release the steam, like get the steam to stop.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, just run past it. It's not gonna kill you.
No, but it'll burn a shit ton of your skin off.
Shield your face and go. What?
No, but it'll burn a shit ton of your skin off.
That's what the body armor's for. And Claire's leather jacket. Just shield your face and go through.
Oh.
Second to third degree burns are not as bad as getting your neck chewed out by a zombie.
Depends on how much of your body has those burns on it.
Yeah, let's not turn this into a whole Freddy Krueger situation.
Yeah. I gotta say, Claire must be using hollow points in that revolver, because I'm sure I've popped at least 3 or 4 zombie heads in this playthrough already. At a minimum, three, maybe 4.
Oh, it gets better after you find the barrel extension. You can pick up magnum rounds.
Right. Yeah, which is interesting to switch from 9mm to 357 on the fly. I don't think you can do that with a revolver. I think what it's chambered for is what you get. But that's me being a gun guy.
It's Resident Evil. They've never exactly been accurate with a lot of guns anyway.
Right. Yeah, and there's all my DLC weapons. Not because I earned them through gameplay, and not because I pre-ordered the deluxe edition or whatever, but because I was a cheap ass and paid for DLC like a putz.
Did you buy the awards unlocked in the store?
I think I did.
Hey, no judgment.
So deduct about 50 gamer points from that.
I mean, I bought it, but it was only to unlock the hunk scenario. And I was only to unlock the hunk scenario and the A and B scenarios. I pretty much unlocked the main infinite ammo weapons for the main scenario. Like playing it on the hardcore and normal difficulties. Actually, I unlocked the infinite minigun and the infinite gun at the same time, I think.
Yeah. These safes, these portable safes, I get the extra...
Those puzzles are impossible, dude.
They are frustrating. I don't remember...
Their solution how to do it.
Okay, I did cut it out. I couldn't remember if I sped up the footage or if I had just trimmed out all of my fuck ups. I guess I did trim out all my fuck ups because I get the extra challenge. I get wanting to keep players on their toes, and I'm all for being thrown a curveball on occasion. But those things were complete horseshit. Capcom, yeah. What the fuck?
You want the Waste of Space achievement or trophy. I don't know if it's the same names on PlayStation, but it's on Xbox. It's the Waste of Space achievement.
If you get all the portable safes.
Well, if you get all the if you get all the portable saves, or the or just the inventory add-ons.
Well, my PS4 is plugged into my. Actually, it's not. But while we're still talking. What else I did not like was and I know this is a universal grievance with this game, is the lack of a clear distinction between Scenario A and Scenario B. Whereas in the original version of the game, who you chose to start the game with directly affected the story that you would get from going from one scenario to the other. If you chose to start with Leon, it was just a simple escape the city story. And if you chose to start with Claire, you had the extra subplot of this of trying to rescue Sherry, this innocent girl whose father has completely lost his shit.
And G virus, not even once.
Yeah, it's like this is your brain, and this is G virus. This is what happens to your brain after injecting G virus.
Just shoot heroin, dude.
Just kidding,
actually,
YouTube.
Don't even do that. No, don't even do that. No.
Just kidding, YouTube. We do not advocate drug use. We do not advocate illegal drug use over on weaponized autism.
We just advocate for blowing zombies' heads off and hating annoying kid characters.
Yeah. Sherry being one of them. I mean, I like the character that Sherry grew into in RE6. As disjointed a mess as that game's plot was. But she was extremely annoying. Like,
well, Sherry wasn't as annoying in the remake as she was in the original.
Yeah. Okay, so
let's not talk about actually right now.
Yeah, we'll wait until March for that.
Leon, help! Shut up. That's what we all wanted to do. Don't lie.
Okay, so there is a trophy for the PS4 version of RE2, A Waste of Space, and it's for expanding. It's for picking up all the hip pouches and fully upgrading your inventory slots.
Yeah, that's what the Xbox achievement is also called.
Yeah, I think it's that way on PC as well. I don't think the Switch... I'm pretty sure the Switch does not have any equivalent of achievements. If there was, I would have seen them throughout my Sonic Frontiers playthrough by now. Which is unfortunate. There is a trophy for opening a portable safe. It's called a Vault-like Mind.
Oh yeah, 4 years later, I still haven't gotten it.
Really?
Nope.
Huh.
I say 100%, but I don't count that as part of the game, really.
I mean, those things carry those things carry hidden keys for the weapons locker room. So
Yeah.
and I could be wrong, but I think there might have been a key item inside one of them. I it's been a while since I've played it, since I've played this game, so my memory is not the best, unfortunately. All right, let me power this down and turn my attention back to the task at hand.
Oh yeah.
Just had to check that real quick. Oh. I think this awkward jump cut was from me having to go from. Sometimes when I'm doing these playthroughs, I will, if it's a game that I can pause, go back to the UI, and set the console to sleep mode. I'll do that, and then I'll leave the game running while the console is in sleep mode, and then I'll come back the next day and try to work through it that way.
Yeah. I just put my friend's PS4 on sleep mode so I can charge the controllers for Call of Duty Mobile.
Yeah,
they don't really use the PS4, but they let me use the controllers for Call of Duty Mobile.
Yeah. Just wanted to give you guys a little insight, a little behind the scenes of how things work around here. Yeah, I can only do that with my PS4 and my Switch.
Yeah, they just released the 2 and 3 remakes on Switch not too long ago.
Yeah, unfortunately they're only cloud. They're only digital copies. As far as
works for me.
Not for me, man. I gotta have a physical copy. I mean, I'm not like married. I mean, obviously, if I'm playing like a PC game or if I'm playing something that I can't get in a physical copy, okay, I'll go with a digital copy. But if I have an option to go physical, I'm absolutely going physical because digital copies are not as sustainable as people think they are. Like, I get that it frees up it frees up all your stuff. It's less clutter, but I would rather actually have the game there on my shelf.
Right.
The only exception I'll make is with emulators. And of course with games I can't find physically or games that I buy off of Steam. So, yeah. You know, looking at that helicopter, let me just go back and pause this a second. Looking at where that helicopter is positioned, I seem to recall something that Stephen Hofstetter said in one of his stand-up routines, where he says something to the effect of, you know, I've never flown a helicopter. If I saw one in a tree, I could still be like, dude fucked up. It's not supposed to be up there.
Same can be said for the side of a police building.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is not where you land a helicopter, in the side of a building.
Well, it depends on where.
Yeah. I swear up and down they made Leon sort of look like a slightly beefier Tom Cruise in this game. Maybe that's just me.
I mean, if Resident Evil came out in the 80s, it was played by Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's Chris Redfield.
Yeah. Yeah, you would have had...
Tom Cruise as Chris Redfield. It would have worked.
Yeah.
Kind of like how they did Resident Evil movies in early 2000s the way it should have been. Ben Affleck would have been a good Chris Redfield back then.
Yes. I will never stop saying Affleck would have been a good Chris.
And if he would have kept, they could have kept him as Chris all throughout the film series.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, basically like be the same as it was in the games. Go from being a fairly experienced member of a SWAT-like team to hardened, very badass.
Yeah. Hard boulder punching badass. Dude, Affleck punching...
Wasn't it him who formed the BSA to begin with?
He was one of the founding members, I believe. It was him and Jill were amongst them.
Yeah, that was... Trying to think if it was formed... Was it forming shown... No, it wasn't.
It was sometime after, 2002, after Umbrella crumbled.
Yeah, Umbrella crumbled in 2003, so at this point, 20 years in the timeline. Not to mention, in the Resident Evil continuity, 2023 is when Chris Redfield turns 50.
Yeah.
And he still got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying, even if Resident Evil 8 was the last of the Ethan Winters saga, Resident Evil 9 better pick up after that cliffhanger ending.
Yeah.
Someone's got to pay. And now we're live from BSA headquarters in South Europe. I think it was Eastern Europe.
Where legendary
Boulder Puncher,
the veteran in the war on bioterror, Chris Redfield, has lost his shit.
10 people were reported injured, 20 were pronounced dead. Scientists had this to say: "Damn it!" Or what's something more witty that will fit in the Resident Evil franchise?
I don't know, but I will give you a fun little fact. The voice actor who they used for Chris in Resident Evil Village and Carlos in the RE3 remake, Jeff Shine, he's in, since I just recently played it, he was in Callisto Protocol. He's your character's co-pilot, Max, who dies in, the opening sequence.
They better have paid him well for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I actually liked him as Carlos, and he was okay as Chris.
Yeah, I still say Roger Craig Smith.
But since they used the same voice actor, they might as well have it been like an older Carlos in Resident Evil Village.
Yeah, I still say Roger Craig Smith is the best Chris.
They should have brought him back for Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8, but hey, I guess he wanted to do better things.
Yeah, such as voicing Sonic in Sonic Frontiers.
And he also voiced Captain America in one of the Lego Marvel video games.
He's got the voice for a Captain America.
I want to see him voice something like. I wouldn't mind him voicing Batman again.
His Sonic voice is weird to me, probably because I'm used to Jason Griffith in the Sonic X series. But playing through Sonic Frontiers, I felt Roger Craig Smith's Sonic voice, it's just something about it just felt kind of weird to me. But, we've barely talked about this game, and we're supposed to be talking about it. I hope everybody appreciates me trimming out all the parts where you have to backtrack, because I hate watching long plays of Resident Evil games on YouTube and they deliberately leave in the backtracking. It's like, Jesus Christ, do you just not touch your raw footage? Like, unless you've got commentary over it, like John Wolfe, who does commentary in all his videos. The only Let's Player on YouTube I consider worth a shit. Like, why leave all that dead air in there? That is the quartering levels of laziness.
Sounds about right.
That's right, I went there. Yeah, I don't know why, but I get very like OCD about the way my inventory is organized in a Resident Evil game. I always have to have my weapons in the top slots. I try to sort it like weapons in the top slots, then ammo underneath, and then healing items right below them. I don't know why I'm so OCD about that, but I am.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And now we are coming up on. We're not planning on talking through the entire game, are we?
I mean, I think we were mostly just talking about the differences between the original and remake, and what we liked about the remake.
Yeah, because we're already at 50. Because we're already at like 50 minutes.
Yeah, and the fact that we can both beat the originals in less than an hour and a half.
Well, I don't know about that. I can do no save runs of RE2 with my eyes closed, but
yeah, we played those games to hell and back, brother.
So much.
I mean, the first game I ever played turns 20 years old this year.
Yeah.
Well, the first game in the Resident Evil franchise.
Mm.
The first Outbreak game will turn 20 years old later this year.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know you love those games. I have never played one of them myself, largely because I saw the multiplayer aspect, and Capcom, Resident Evil, multiplayer, those are things that just do not blend to me.
Oh, yeah. So, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, remember the Resident Evil 3 remake when you hop off that fire truck crane thing and you run to the police car over there and you hear a cop on the radio talking?
Yeah.
That was a reference to Kevin in the Resident Evil Outbreak.
Yeah,
he was referencing him and several other survivors trapped at Jay's bar.
Yeah, I recall seeing a video about that it was like a list of Easter eggs in the RE3 remake, and somebody brought that up. It might have been Ink Ribbon, because I know he does a lot of videos on Easter eggs in video games. He just uploaded a video, it was either today or yesterday, it was like 50 facts about the Nest Lab in this game, which I haven't watched yet, but...
Do we really need to know that much? It's like, it's just a lab that spawns satanic shit, that's all it is.
Well, at least the acid rounds are still the most effective weapon to use against the lickers.
I just used the infinite launcher.
Yeah, well, I've done playthroughs of Resident Evil games with an infinite rocket launcher, and to me, that makes it too easy.
Right.
It makes it
So
way too easy.
Hey, it gets fast runs done and impresses the ladies. And also makes them giggle like a hyena, aka Lily.
Right.
She'll be watching me speedrun Resident Evil 2, and I'll freaking just be running through with the infinite launcher, and she's just giggling every time I shoot just a single zombie with a rocket launcher and start running past it. Well, it's kind of hard to run past zombies in that game with that new lunge animation.
I should do a compilation video of all the explosions I've come across in some of the games I've played, and every time it gets one, you just hit the Mortal Kombat Toasty.
Yeah. Toasty.
Toasty goes with everything.
Well, when I was a kid, I thought it was Toasty.
I remember thinking it was Whoopsie.
Huh?
I remember as a kid thinking it was Whoopsie.
I mean, I guess that's an okay response to ripping someone's spine out.
Yeah.
Oopsie.
Or setting a dude on fire with your dragon breath.
Get over here.
Yeah, I think that literally is like in Mortal Kombat 2. That's one of Scorpion's fatalities. Which that was in my one of my videos roasting the clip from Sex Sent Me to the ER. Was Scorpion doing that fatality with his dragon breath and the guy exploding and Toasty. Yeah, if you want to see that video, it's called Whittle Witched, like Little Richard, but if it were said by Elmer Fudd. It's a clip from Sex Sent Me to the ER that I just roasted because I thought it was hilarious. Of this dimwit who accidentally superglued his hand to his crank. Like Jim from American Pie 2. Oh. Why in the lowest chambers of hell has Marvin never appeared in one of the Resident Evil movies? Not even Welcome to Raccoon City. I love how Marvin is an absolute dick to Leon, but he's just a regular guy to Claire.
Yep.
They should have put him in Welcome to Raccoon City, and they should have hired, like, Michael Jai White to play Marvin. I would say Anthony Mackie, but he's an Avenger. He's way too expensive.
I mean, Idris Elba as Marvin might be good.
Yeah, but he was probably, at that point, he was probably too busy voicing Sonic. Or not Sonic, he was probably too busy voicing Knuckles in Sonic 2.
I still think that was top tier casting.
You know, he originally wasn't supposed to be Knuckles in that movie. It was originally supposed to be Jason Momoa.
That would have also been cool casting.
And this is after months of... I remember months of speculation that it was going to be The Rock, and I'm actually kind of glad that it wound up being Idris Elba instead.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. With the new DC universe going into motion, Jason Momoa could actually always play Lobo.
Yeah. I know they teased.
Well,
I know at the end of Sonic 2 they teased the appearance of Shadow the Hedgehog in the next movie, and they're probably not going to get him, but I really want them to get Keanu Reeves to play Shadow.
yeah. Did you know that originally auditioned for Batman?
Keanu Reeves?
Did you know that?
No, I was not aware of that. But he was. Now, when did he audition for Batman? Because that's.
Well, sometime it was around the time. It was around the time Ben Affleck was cast.
Okay. Okay, well, if it's that point in time.
But then Snyder offered him the role of Aquaman instead.
Hmm. And he was like, "Motherfucker, I'm John Wick."
Yeah, I want to get my clan tag, which is actually inspired by Keanu Reeves and John Wick. It's
Dude.
FAFO. You know what it stands for?
It's what?
FAFO. It's a
Fuck around and find out.
Yep. I'm gonna get it tattooed on both my knuckles.
Well, I follow Larry the Cable Guy's rule of tattoos, which is if you're gonna get a tattoo, get one that you can take off one day, because you will be old. Look like a dumbass one day. My sister got one, looked like a jackass, right on the back of her head. Says, "Let go of my ears, I know what I'm doing."
That's fucked up.
Birkin, have you ever considered meeting some ladies? You got a very buff right arm there. Maybe a little too buff. You're not supposed to work out the one side.
Do we really want to know what he was doing with that one hand?
I can make a few guesses. None of them are none of them are YouTube friendly.
Oh, fuck YouTube standards.
Yeah. He's been spanking his monkey a little too much. I don't know any other phrases that are synonymous with beating off.
Oh, yeah. Just hey,
Whacking it.
if you ever sad, just think about T-Rex trying to masturbate.
That's why the Tyrannosaur was the meanest dinosaur in all the land, because his arms were too short to reach his wiener. That is a medically proven fact. That will make you angry. And you'll never watch Jurassic Park the same way again.
Like he doesn't want to eat it because he hates you. He's just mad because he can't wink it. It's like the Resident Evil Bridge series. When the one Spanish officer goes out to use the bathroom, it's like, Antonio, this ain't no time for a wank. Get over here. Okay, I'm coming. I don't care. Get in the car and don't touch anything, alright?
I was just thinking of John Witherspoon in Next Friday. He's like, "Get off your ass and on your feet. We ain't got time to beat your meat."
Oh, Christ. But it took me 10 years to realize what the joke was behind when the abridged guy said, "Okay, I'm coming." It's like in The Walking Dead when season 3 of Walking Dead when Glenn and Maggie were having sex in the watchtower, and when they come out, they see everybody looking at them, and Daryl's like, "You coming? What? I said, are you coming?" Again, took me 10 years to get that motherfucking joke.
Daryl Dixon, one of the most overrated television characters ever. I like Norman Reedus, and Daryl's a cool character to follow, but Jesus Christ, is he overdone. We get it. There's a lot of horny... there's a lot of really horny housewives who will absolutely lose their shit if Daryl's plot armor suddenly breaks.
Wait, what?
I said, we get it. There's a lot of really horny housewives that will absolutely lose their shit if Daryl's plot armor just breaks.
Oh, it's never gonna break.
Not with the show ending now.
He'll die eventually.
Yeah. Well, Netflix has all 11 seasons of the show. And I still don't... I think I progressively started losing interest in The Walking Dead around after they lost the prison for good in season 4. And I just gave up after the first episode of season 7. It's like at this point I'm...
Just imagine David Morrissey as Brian Irons.
Dude. Dude, that would legitimately be terrifying.
Solid casting for the next Netflix reboot.
Yeah,
Yeah, just cast Tanner Buchanan, however it's pronounced, Tanner Buchanan as Leon Kennedy, Peyton List as Claire Redfield, and just do something based on those two in live action.
Yeah. You know, I still have not moved beyond the second episode of Netflix's RE series.
I mean, seriously, look up those actors I just mentioned and tell me they're not perfect for a Resident Evil reboot.
The only Resident Evil Netflix thing I give a fuck about is Infinite Darkness.
Yeah, still waiting on season 2.
Yeah, I saw John Wolfe's video on the live action series, and I was like, yeah, that's probably all I need to know. That's probably all I need to see. I'm still trying to recover from that fucking Olive Garden scene. Like, shameless fucking plug right there. Plus, I've been to Olive Garden. Their breadsticks are not that good.
They're really not.
No. No, the one time I've been in an Olive Garden, their breadsticks were just slightly overcooked. Like, I will go to Fazoli's instead, thank you very much. We got a Fazoli's here in Cape Girardeau, that's way better.
No, we're still talking about the Netflix series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just the 2 episodes of that show I did watch. I'm convinced the only research the showrunners put into it was watching the Paul W.S. Anderson movies, maybe possibly watching part of a few playthroughs on YouTube, and then skimming the game's Wikipedia for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then they just called it a day. It would not surprise me in the slightest if that was the little research they put into it.
Well, here's something for you to pull up on the live stream. Hang on. Apparently, Resident Evil fans petition HBO for The Last of Us treatment.
Okay. Now, I haven't seen. I think I said this earlier. I have not seen HBO Max's The Last of Us. I haven't seen
Oh,
HBO's The Last of Us yet. I'm waiting until all the
oh,
episodes go up before I do watch it.
apparently it's really good, and Resident Evil fans want HBO Max do do the next live action Resident Evil adaptation.
Here's the thing about The Last of Us that the show is being partially written and at least executive produced by Neil Druckmann, who is the guy who the writer and director behind The Last of Us the video games. So it's being made with Neil Druckmann's direct involvement, which is why people are saying it's so close to the feel of the games. It's being made by the guy. It's one of the guys directly involved with it is the guy who worked on both games. So it has that. Capcom, I didn't, as far as I know, did not have any involvement in Netflix's live action Resident Evil series. So there's your first problem. It's not just that HBO turned out a show that probably feels close enough in style and tone of the game itself. It's that it's directly being worked on by one of the it's being worked on by the guy who conceived The Last of Us in the first place.
Honestly, I'm surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised with the freaking with Netflix having a lot of the rights to Sony stuff. I'm surprised that the Last of Us show didn't premiere on Netflix instead.
Yeah, that's especially right now. Right now, Netflix has this really weird exclusivity deal where it's like every one of Sony's movies that's getting released this year supposedly is supposed to uh, premiere on Netflix at some point in time. I don't know how accurate that is. You would think so. You would think The Last of Us would be going to Netflix, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I haven't seen the show myself. I don't understand why there is a show, considering the game itself is just an interactive season of The Walking Dead and not a particularly memorable one, in my opinion. Uh, yeah, I was not terribly impressed with the first Last of Us when I played it last year. Now, maybe The Last of Us 2 will have some will change my mind, but maybe I'll latch on to The Last of Us 2 more than I did the first game. Um, I I don't know. I just don't know.
I've only played a little bit of both of them.
Yeah, I was not terribly impressed with the first game. There were moments in it that I liked, but I feel like Naughty Dog's glorified interactive movie style is better suited for a game like Uncharted than something like The Last of Us, where you put your characters in this morally gray misery of a world. I feel like that game would have been better off handled as a choose your own adventure style game with multiple endings. And I mean like an actual choose your own adventure type of game, not like a Telltale game where they they give you the illusion of affecting the outcome of the story, but all they're really doing is bottlenecking you into one outcome, just with slight variations of how you reach that outcome. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Telltale's style of gameplay.
Oh
He
yeah.
he says immediately before he says with the full knowledge that he bought several of Telltale's Walking Dead games on GOG because they were on sale for $5.
Well, some of the ones I got were free.
Color me a fucking hypocrite, because I am one.
Well,
Blow me.
well, both. Well, I got both. I got both Telltale Batman games free with gold. So. Like both were just a few months apart.
We're going to talk about just how completely Looney Tune they made irons in this game.
What's the? I was just gonna say Straight Jacket crazy, but okay.
Yeah, trying to find a good spot to pause the video on. Oh, there we go. That, dude, first off, I love watching people crack under pressure in situations like a zombie apocalypse coming to your front door. I don't know why I do, I just do. I love seeing all the different ways people respond to it. And like you recall in the original game, he was just like it was more nuanced in the original game. It was much more subtle. He was just kind of this guy just sitting at his desk with a gun in his hand, dead body on his desk. And it was just the combination of the music and the way he talked was just like, dude, something is seriously wrong.
What was that?
It went out for a sec. It was just like, dude, something is seriously wrong with this guy. But you can't quite put your finger on it. It might just be the stress of the situation, or it might be this, or it might be that. By this point, you've already found enough notes that show that he relocated several caches of ammunition throughout the station, which left his men basically fucked.
Yeah.
And then you have this where, I mean, I still kind of dig it, like he has fully snapped and he's full Looney Tunes, but it's a little much right out of the gate, you know?
Yeah, if you ask me, Dr. Loomis should have gone after him.
Yeah.
He wouldn't survive being shot 6 times.
No. Nope. I was more partial to Donald Logue's portrayal of him in Welcome to Raccoon City, where he was just a... Donald Logue just played him like a walking cartoon, and I kind of liked that.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, also this guy, like Irons in the original was a big dude, but he wasn't like he wasn't like where this dude clearly has had one too many donuts. I know that's the
cops, ain't it?
I know that's the old stereotype, cops eat shit tons of donuts, but like, do you live next to a Krispy Kreme or something?
No.
I say Krispy Kreme because they're better than Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, we have a Dunkin' Donut.
I can agree with that.
We have a Dunkin' Donuts and a Krispy Kreme here. I'd rather go to Krispy Kreme. Actually, no, fuck that. You know who has better donuts? There's a place in Perryville, which is about 40 minutes away from where I live. They have a place called Huckley's, which their donuts are fucking legit. We don't have one in Cape Girardeau, but they got one up in Perryville, which is kind of sad.
Speaking of which, according to some things I've read, apparently Raccoon City is actually Springfield, Missouri.
Yeah, that's a popular fan theory, which makes me question why Johannes Roberts didn't film Welcome to Raccoon City in Springfield, Missouri. I mean, I think Missouri offers tax breaks to filmmakers. David Fincher did film Gone Girl in Cape Girardeau. Not Gone... Yeah, it was Gone Girl. David Fincher shot Gone Girl in Cape Girardeau, so it's like, what the fuck, Johannes? Like, was it that big of a difference, the tax break for filming in Missouri versus filming in Canada?
Wait, what?
Was it that big of a tax break difference between filming in Missouri and filming in Canada?
Oh boy, filming in Canada. Don't sound like a good time, eh?
I don't know, when I think of Canada, I just think of Trevor from GTA 5. It's a slight accent! You can barely tell! He says as he's firing an AK indiscriminately into a crowded mall.
Yeah. Also, that was a very crappy Canadian impression, and if you be of Canadian descent and ever see me in the street, feel free to punch me in the face. Just explain afterwards, and I'll just say, okay, yeah, I deserve that. Go ahead.
The moose is running a boot. That wasn't even an attempt at an accent.
I love my Canadian peeps. I just have to say it just so I don't get pummeled.
I'm like Dennis Leary. I don't trust them in Canada. They're too nice and they're too quiet and they live right above America.
Hey.
If you live right on the Canadian border, you can, and you listen real close late at night, you can hear them sharpening their ice skates, getting ready to come down and take all our cheese.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I really hope you put talking about everything else.
Right? We're supposed to be talking.
No, you didn't. We're fucked.
I'll change it later. Okay. We're supposed to be talking about this fucking game right in front of us.
But we're jaw-jacking about random shit.
Yeah. Just change the name to the jaw-jacking about random shit.
But this is not the first time.
Yeah, this is kind of why the show is called Weaponized Autism.
Right. Oh, Jesus. We need to find all these live streams and rename them as episodes of this show.
Right.
Just Weaponized Autism and make it into a playlist.
Yes. I should do that after we get off of here.
Do it.
No, you gotta say it like Shia LaBeouf. Do it! Just do it! He's got those he's got his veins bulging out in his neck. Do it!
Just do it!
Or Palpatine. Do it.
Do it. That's my reaction to Killer Clowns from the movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That's my reaction every time. That's my reaction. That's me saying it to the clowns every time they come on screen. Do it. Do it. Do it. Like, please just kill these annoyances. Get them out of the movie.
Well, prior to playing Sonic Frontiers, I never thought I'd ever heard Roger Craig Smith use the phrase, let's do it to it. But, now I have.
Now we'll never see him as Chris. We'll never hear him as Chris Redfield ever again.
Yeah, that phrase sounds much better coming out of Julia White's mouth than it does Roger Craig Smith's.
Yeah, let's not forget when Roger Craig Smith did the voice of Batman Arkham Origins, and it just sounds like Chris Redfield in a bat suit.
Right. Well, considering he was walking around decked out in all black in Village, including a black turtleneck, he pretty much was Batman in that game.
Yeah, I finally figured out how to do the Chris Redfield punch in Mercenaries.
Oh, nice.
You you press the LB but you press the right bumper button, and his health just heals automatically.
Nice.
The left bumper is just a quick jab.
Yeah. Why did they never do those those kick-ass head explosions in Welcome to Raccoon City? Like I understand Johannes Roberts was under some strict budget cuts. Fuck you, sir.
Huh?
Just wait for the stream to catch up. Liquor.
I think they felt like they gave enough fan service.
Yeah, the liquor jump scared me as I was coming down the hall, and as it showed me hitting the defense item, I just said, "Fuck you, sir."
No, I still have that clip saved on my phone.
Yeah. Fuck you, sir.
Yeah, that's still my response to people who think the Joss Whedon version of Justice League is better than the Zack Snyder version.
Those people have no taste.
Well, yeah, it's something made by Joss Whedon.
I don't like Joss Whedon, and I never have. I didn't like him even before everybody decided to dislike him as a potato-headed scumbag.
I got other words for him.
Well,
yeah, let's just call the 2017 version of Justice League Justice League.
I call it what it is: waste.
Yeah.
And not even solid waste either. It's the watery, diaphanous Hershey shits that comes roaring out of Proctopast after a 2 a.m. Taco Bell binge. The kind that leaves you feeling more hollow than Andrew Tate's promises.
And well, you got to keep in mind that the only reason Joss Whedon even came on board was because Warner Brothers didn't want to give Zack Snyder enough time to grave his daughter who committed suicide, because money is, apparently according to Warner Brothers, money is more important than showing some empathy.
They say while apparently DC's lineup on the CW was bleeding revenue for Warner Brothers, like they were apparent. Like I haven't seen the full report, but the rumor mill is that CW's DC shows was basically they were hemorrhaging money, which is not good in Hollywood.
Yeah. I mean, I know how you feel. I already know what you're gonna say about the word woke, but I'm just gonna say the only two good shows in the CW DC shows are The Flash and Arrow. The rest of it is just woke garbage.
Well, like I've said before, I just call it dog shit.
Yeah. Let's not forget the moment in the Flash TV show when Ezra Miller's The Flash makes a cameo.
Yeah. I think I've seen that. I think I've seen that clip.
Yeah, the TV's Flash with the movie Flash.
Right.
What was I gonna say? If Ezra Miller doesn't get his shit together, that movie's never gonna see the light of day.
Yeah, well, it's still on the release schedule for this summer, so there's that.
And if James Gunn and what's his face are planning on restarting the DC cinematic universe, They can very well just make this the Flashpoint Paradox movie.
Yeah, but that I wouldn't go with that either, just because there you can't do Flashpoint without Thomas Wayne Batman, and they're not. And as far as I know, they're not bringing Jeffrey Dean Morgan over to do that, which is bullshit. Because, dude, you have the perfect opportunity to bring in Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne Batman. What the fuck?
Yeah, because freaking beginning of Batman v Superman, we see Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne, and I'm pretty sure it was Lauren Cohan from The Walking Dead as Martha Wayne.
Yeah, it was.
Well, fuck Uranus, because freaking sometime later this year we're getting a show where it's just about Maggie and Negan from The Walking Dead. Like Walking Dead, Dead City.
Well, I'm going to pause this here and bring up my clip list, because I have a certain clip that can summarize how I feel about The Walking Dead at present.
It stopped being good after season 5.
As soon as this thing decides to load.
I've no more fucks to hear. Funny thing is apparently F-bombs are not allowed in Walking Dead unless you buy it on DVD. But yet on Netflix you still get the censored versions. Like, what? Oh sure, show us the inside of Carl's brains, or what happened, or what happens when Glenn has a run-in with Lucille. But sure, an F-bomb is worse than blood and guts, apparently.
Yeah. But, back to the clip.
I've no more fucks to hear. My fucks have all dissolved. I plan many projects, but my fucks won't be involved. I've no more fucks to hear. My fucks have all been spent. They fucked off from the building, and I don't know where they went.
That one clip perfectly summarizes how we feel about The Walking Dead at present. How I felt.
Funny thing about that. Funny thing about the Walking Dead show is that in the comic, Carl and Sophia never died. And in fact, the last issue of the comic literally takes place 25 years later, and apparently they got married.
Yeah.
But in the Walking Dead show, they both died the same way. Bitten. And shot in the head.
Yeah.
Well, Sophia was killed after she came out of the barn. And Rick put her down.
Yeah.
When she had already long past turned. But Carl shoots himself in the head to prevent reanimation.
Actually, screw it. Since I was good enough to come out of that, let me just go ahead and change the title. Live on stream. We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Yeah, we were just supposed to talk about the Resident Evil 2 remake on its 4th anniversary, but instead we
just keep getting sidetracked.
Jaw-jacked about a bunch of unrelated shit as well.
Yeah. What?
But hey, the show's called Weaponized Autism for a reason.
What the heck? I think the stream is losing its shit.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that... Okay, it says that we are... Okay, OBS is not showing us as... Wait, never mind, I was looking at the wrong timer.
I say, if we've been talking, we haven't been live, then we're either really screwed or really lucky.
No, we're still live. Yeah, we are. I'm just a dumbass.
Yeah, I look at myself in the mirror every day and tell myself the same thing.
Okay, yeah.
Like that one, like played a clip from Big Bang Theory of Raj looking at himself in a mirror. What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Every day at 2 a.m.
Yeah. Now I know you are. I'm. Now, don't you watch the stream as we're going?
Sometimes.
Okay, I was about to say if you could check on your end to make sure it's still running. If you're able to. If you're not,
it
then
says live now.
Okay, good. I was about to say if you can't, then it's no worries. Okay. For a second there, I started getting very worried. I started thinking that holy shit, we've been going off for to an audience of nobody. But remarks. Yeah, here's a remark. Chris is a dumbass, and he's supposed to be the one in charge of this fucking shit show.
Yeah. Well, specifically your Chris spelled with a K.
Yeah.
We can't exactly call it the Kaysen Christian Catastrophe Show because I would spell KKK, and we might face controversy for that.
Yeah, this ain't South Park, the Stick of Truth.
South Park, that's just... I've never really cared for South Park, it's just...
Neither have I.
Well, the only good thing about it is the... How would you like to suck my balls, Mr. Garrison? Yeah, that's the only good thing about it.
Yes.
The Kenny meme. Can't forget the Kenny meme.
Yes.
Like, I remember my sophomore year when the remaster of Resident Evil 1 came out, and I posted on Facebook of, like, it's your star's comrade, Kenneth, and I was like, they killed Kenny!
Yes.
And one of my sister's classmates commented on my photo tagging a Kenny who went to our school and said, "Why'd you die, retard?"
Nice.
Yeah, that should just about sum up Shit Valley for you. I hated that school.
Well,
I just think it's funny how they took till long after I left before they actually started doing stuff about the bullying.
Yeah. I haven't been back to my school in years, and I don't think I'd go back there if you paid me. To tell you the truth.
Didn't you go to Riverton?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never been to the Riverton High School.
It's nothing special. Unless the type of special you're thinking of is the padded helmet, rubber pants, and short bus variety of special, then yeah, I'd say it was a very special school, and it wasn't even a school catered specifically for special ed kids like myself. It was just a regular high school. It was just half the student body were rednecks and the other half were wangstas.
Hey, I'm the only one in my special ed class who didn't make any poor life-altering decisions.
Ugh.
There's one dude in my class I used to be really close. His name was Colton. I used to be really close with him. I stopped talking to him because, well, it had nothing to do with the fact that he became a drug addict. It was the fact that, one day he asked me if I could lend him some money, and I said no, and he said he was going to come to my house, stomp my head into the ground. I said, well, you can try it.
I'm trying to remember. There was this trio of guys at my high school who, I shit you not, collaborated on a rap video together. They called themselves the Bandanas, and I cannot find the video for the life of me. I don't know if it's still on YouTube, but if it is, I want to find it, and I want to roast it so bad. I don't know why I do. I just do.
Dude, I roast everyone from my high school.
Yeah, I've been thinking about roasting another video from like To Catch a Predator or Sex Send Me to the ER or something like that.
Dude, the freaking the Cat in the Hat movie can be best described as a Dr. Seuss themed episode of To Catch a Predator.
Ugh. God knows there were enough inappropriate jokes in it to put it in that territory.
Yeah, I remember one night I was with Lily and I made her watch it just because I didn't want to make her watch the movie. I wanted her to watch me make fun of the movie.
Right, like a Mystery Science Theater episode.
Yeah, and at the part where the cat disguises himself as a piñata, you know what I said? I said, "Oh, so they finally hanged him. That's nice."
You should have said lynched.
Copy came out of her nose. Yeah, she's back in Illinois right now.
What a shame. As I'd like to have her on one of these streams one day.
Well, when she gets out here and everything's all settled, then yeah, I'm gonna invite her onto the show with me.
Good.
Can there be multiple people in a Discord call?
I think so, yeah.
I say, because worst case scenario, she's stuck at home. We can do it that way at some point.
Yeah, I think there. I've never tried it, but I think you can do multiple people in a Discord chat.
Yeah, I'll talk to her about it. I'll talk to her about later tonight.
Yeah,
it actually gets me back. Yeah, she's helping her brother. She's helping her brother right now.
Now we are coming up on the moment where so many people on YouTube just lost their shit, and it was hilarious for me to see because I just kept thinking, have y'all never played the OG Resident Evil 2?
Like people will say they played the original, but then their reactions to this said otherwise.
Yeah,
It's like what you said you were gonna do when you got around to doing a Resident Evil Village playthrough. Every time Lady Dimitrescu popped up, you were gonna put in a soundbite of that one guy going, "That's a huge bitch."
Yes.
Or that freaking that hold up sound effect, like yeah, you know, Nani.
Right.
That was my reaction when you come out of getting that one mask, and you know that in Resident Evil Village that door you got to put the eyeball thing on.
Yeah.
When you come every single time you come out of that room from unlocking that door and getting the mask where you have to put the animal skull to get out of there. Kind of reminiscent of the emblems in Resident Evil 1.
Yeah.
Like the wooden emblem and the gold emblem.
Yeah. Now this fucking guy, this Mr. X.
Dude, remember when this first came out and someone made a mod where every time Mr. X was, instead of the chase theme, it was X Gonna Give It To You by DMX.
Yeah. Which, by
I
the
wish
way,
you could get mods on console because I'd be playing with that mod for days.
Which, by the way, for anybody who is still with us, after I did my playthrough of the original RE2, I posted a video called Mr. X Gonna Give It To You, where all the Mr. X segments from Scenario B, I just blast X Gonna Give It To You. I'm not going to play it here, because copyright. That video is already copyrighted on its own. I don't need to hit my own stream for it at the same time.
You can thank Warner Brothers for me losing my first YouTube channel. You can thank Warner Brothers for that because they gave me 2 strikes at once for using footage from 2014's Godzilla and 2019's Godzilla King of the Monsters in the same video. And the third strike was me being defiant, just re-uploading the video because screw Warner Brothers. and then boom, channel terminated.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, I had to make a whole new Gmail. I have 2 Gmail accounts, one for YouTube, one for my social media.
Yeesh.
It's a good thing I still had some of those videos, so I was able to re-upload them with ease, but you can only have so many videos on your phone.
Yeah, I
we're
don't
coming
know.
up to the lick part now.
Now, since Mr. X has now arrived, whoever's bright idea it was to make him I forget what it's called.
Stalker.
A stalker character. First off, stalker characters are ass anyway, and they always have been. One of my biggest gripes with the original Resident Evil 3 is what a relentless stalker nemesis is, and how infuriatingly difficult he is to deal with. And that was one of my big gripes with this game, is the fact that Mr. X just does not fucking leave you alone for anything.
All I can do is shoot him in the head as many times as you can and run away.
Yeah.
And in the Resident Evil 3 remake, I wouldn't exactly consider Nemesis a stalker enemy in that one, because
Yeah,
you just got your shit wrecked twice in a row.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately.
Nemesis encounters in Resident Evil 3 remake felt more scripted.
Yeah, they were. I'm talking like the original PS1 Nemesis.
But you can move those 2 at once.
Yeah.
But I've been doing it one at a time the last 4 years.
Yeah. You can actually just grab the far left one and then just push them all to the side at once, and it saves you a shitload of time.
I'm just gonna quote Decker's Shadow and say, my entire world's view has just been flipped on its head. I think that was during his Jurassic Park 3 review. AKA, you mean Jurassic Park. The subtitle for Jurassic Park 3 should have been Jurassic Park 3 Cash Grab. Because that's all that movie was.
Yeah, that's what it...
Sam Neill's quote in that movie, "No force on earth or heaven couldn't get me back on that island." That's what he says at every Comic-Con now. Yeah, you might want to use a herb there, bud.
Yeah. Well, you're a little late to the party because of the delay. But, yeah, Jurassic Park 3, a.k.a. the worst Jurassic Park movie in existence.
The animatronics just looked awful on that one.
I didn't mind the animatronics. It was the general plot of that game that bugged the piss out of me. I felt like Alan Grant and the kid, Eric. I felt like they were the only ones in the movie who were not too stupid to live.
Yeah, let's not forget about the woman with the Karen cut, talking into a megaphone.
You're on an island full of dinosaurs. You should know at least a few of them are carnivorous. Why?
Yeah.
You
ask me, I remember watching that movie recently, and she turns around and goes into the megaphone. What's a bad idea?
This entire goddamn movie.
I'm just like, Spino, you can kill her now.
That was the only good thing about that movie, was the Spinosaurus. Some of the raptor scenes were cool.
I thought about doing full-length reviews of those movies.
The aviary scene with the pteranodons was a fun scene. But
I found that terrifying as a kid.
But that movie itself is objectively garbage.
Yeah, I thought about doing full length reviews of Jurassic Park, and every time a T-Rex shows up, I play a clip of Jesse Ventura from Predator, the original Predator, going, "Goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus." And by the Jurassic Park 3 review, I was gonna have it like, when the Spinosaurus breaks a T-Rex's neck.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it'll be like, "Goddamn sexual Tyranno," oh. And it'll cut to a clip of me going, ugh. I guess that's the end of that joke.
You could just show the bit where he gets shot from behind by the Predator. His entire chest explodes. It's like, well, there goes the sexual Tyrannosaurus.
That's perfect.
Oh. We're not even out of the police station yet.
Well, what the hell, Chris?
Yeah,
Dude, I hope at some point they seriously should add a fixed camera angles mode.
Yeah, I don't mind the over the shoulder as much as as much as Resident Evil purists do. I feel like
I knew it was gonna happen either way.
Yeah, I feel like over the shoulder. I feel like the fixed camera angles and tank controls, that was fine for that time in the late 90s when these games were first coming out.
Yeah, like fixed camera angles with pre-rendered backgrounds instead of like actual 3D backgrounds. They were literally just images, background images, and they somehow made it to where it seemed like it was a virtual interactable environment, when really it was just literally just an image in the background.
Yeah. Yeah, which I still say Capcom did not create that style. They lifted it from Alone in the Dark.
Dude, let's not forget. There's literally I think there was a Blade video game. Not Blade. Literally the lesser known PS1 Men in Black video game literally borrowed the Resident Evil gameplay style.
Yeah, if I could find
also. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if I could find a working, if I could finally get a PS1 emulator to function, I was thinking about playing that on the channel at some point. There is a PC version of it, but I found it on My Abandonware, a site that's buggier than a Charlie Sheen blood test sometimes.
Yeah, the frickin' there's actually like several Blair Witch games that are literally Resident Evil clones.
Yeah,
and they're only on PC.
Yeah.
There's also a Resident Evil clone based off the Ring.
Ring Terror's Realm, which I would love to get because I do have a Dreamcast, but it is way too goddamn expensive. The only
reason I give a fraction of a damn about the Dreamcast is because of the 2 Godzilla games on it.
I mean, there's a few decent games on it. I need to dust that off and play some more of it on the channel at some point because I've got some decent games on it. I've got not just Confidential Mission, which I played that months ago.
You have the original Veronica?
I have Code Veronica on PS2.
Well, on PS2 it's called Code Veronica X.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to call the remake Code Veronica? If they ever remake it, do you think it'll be called Code Veronica X or just Code Veronica?
I think it'll just be Code Veronica.
Yeah, the fan remake got shut down.
Yeah, I saw that. Which the last time that something like that happened, it was largely because the RE2 remake was already being worked on. But it was also like it's like that they should have figured that was going to happen because they were using they were using money from fan donations, money that is supposed to go that would have been taking away from Capcom's bottom line. It's like
Great, so Capcom's just like Disney.
well, I mean, if they were like Disney, I probably wouldn't. These videos probably would still not be up on my channel.
Fair point.
Yeah,
There you go. Now you got it.
yeah, I should have sped up that footage because I think the puzzle in the when you're synthesizing the vaccine in the nest, I think I sped that puzzle up just to keep momentum going, and I should have done the same thing with the electronic pieces. Oh, this is where part 2 ends.
Yep, that's the
Right before you go to the orphanage. See also one of the most gallingly forced stealth segments ever in a video game.
dude. That I just I don't know which one's more annoying. The one where you play as Ashley in Resident Evil 4 or this one.
The one where you play as it's this one that's more annoying because in the Ashley one, if you timed it, if you had your timing just fine, you could actually, I mean, there were lamps set up to where you could defend yourself, and the enemies grabbing you wasn't an instant game over, and you didn't have to stealth your way around, which that's going to be in the RE4 remake. For the
honestly, if you ask me. It's honestly irritating that getting grabbed when you're playing as Ashley and you get grabbed by a Ganato, it's not an instant game over. But yet she somehow can't find that strength to free. She somehow can't find that strength to free herself when you're playing as Leon, and she gets away from you.
Yeah, but that's why. That's why when I play as Ashley, that's why when I play as Leon and I've got Ashley behind me, I always have a shotgun on hand because you got that scatter.
Yeah.
You got that scatter shot.
Here is where Capcom where you use the scissors to cut the tape. Yeah. Capcom would reuse that in Resident Evil Village.
Yeah, well, not nearly as annoying in Village. And I think I did speed. Yes, there's the disclaimer. This part has been sped up for your convenience. I think I should have sped it up more. It's one of those things that you catch later on, like after you're. Sometimes you don't catch certain things when you're editing. You're just like, I just want to get this fucking shit done.
Right.
I'm just glad this wasn't a sliding tile puzzle because I blow ass at those.
Dude, the freaking puzzle in Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, I hate that one so much. I have memorized every puzzle in RE4 except for that one, and I was stuck on it. That is the only puzzle in the whole game that I cannot finish without looking it up. Without looking up the solution online. You deduct a few gamer points from me if you wish, but I'm awful at sliding tile puzzles.
Dude, I gotta look up the solution in order every single time. The number of times I managed to do it without having to look it up. Literally only once.
Yeah, that was probably by accident.
I mean, I still play it. I know Resident Evil 4 is pretty much on everything now, but I still just play it. I still just play it on oh, what was I gonna say? I still just play it on PS2 because fuck trying to unlock the hand cannon again.
Yeah.
Dude, 5 stars as every character in Mercenaries.
Yeah.
Why couldn't the Resident Evil remasters just also add a DLC where you could unlock the rewards?
I couldn't tell you.
And don't try telling me it wasn't in the budget, because if Resident Evil Zero Remaster can add that Wesker mode, they can add someone that you can buy someone to unlock all the unlockables.
Right.
It's like, get your shit together, Shinji. Wait, was it Shinji Mikami?
He was with Capcom on Resident Evil until after 4 came out. He was kind of I think it was about it might have been something about console exclusivity, but I doubt it.
Well, the Resident Evil 4, original Resident Evil 4 was originally just going to be a straight GameCube exclusive, but then apparently something was flawed in that whole regard, so literally later on that year they would release it on PS2.
Yeah, Nintendo had some, like Capcom had some kind of console exclusivity deal with Nintendo to put a bunch of their stuff exclusively on GameCube, which is where Beautiful Joe was one of those games, even though that eventually got ported to PS2, I think. There was one called PN03. It was like a Ghost in the Shell type cyborg thing that I want to track down because I've always wanted to play it, but and Resident Evil 0 and the RE1 remake were a part of that exclusivity deal, which is why they didn't do so hot initially, because Capcom was limiting themselves to the third place, what was the third place console on the market at the time. Like GameCube, like Nintendo was in third place as far as hardware sales went in that generation, and then Xbox was in second place, and then PS2 was at the very, very, very top. Even though it's the least powerful console of that generation.
Yeah, I still think the Resident Evil 1 remake and Resident Evil 0 should have been on PS2.
Yeah, if Capcom had put those games on PS2 as well as GameCube, if there wasn't that bogus exclusivity deal, those games would have done a hell of a lot better than they wound up doing initially.
I would have Resident Evil 2 remake a lot sooner.
Yeah, that and Resident Evil 4 would have been a completely different game.
Yeah, like, I don't know if you noticed, but in the GameCube demo disc you get for Resident Evil 4, the handgun firing sound effect, it's the same handgun sound effect from Resident Evil 1 remake.
Yeah, I think I vaguely remember that. It's been a while since I've seen that video, but I vaguely remember that.
And the handgun looks slightly chunkier in the demo.
Yeah. That's the mayor's daughter. I was told to look after her, but I failed miserably.
Well, Brian, you're just a frickin' psycho.
I mean, that's failing miserably is one way of looking at it.
Yeah, and the fact that you're the chief of the police, but you're literally playing taxidermy with the body of the mayor's daughter. That's kind of embarrassing, dude.
Well, I always wonder what happened to the mayor of Raccoon City during this whole incident.
Well, there's really only three possibilities. He either A, somehow got out of Raccoon City alive, B, got gutted by a hunter, disemboweled by a licker, face eaten off by a zombie, or 3, got blown the fuck up when the U.S. military blew up Raccoon City.
Yeah. Yeah, which that was a thermobaric bomb. And
no, nothing's getting out of that.
Yeah, there's actually a passage that I think of every time I think about that, about the destruction of Raccoon City. A passage from the World War Z book, which, if I can find it, this might take a minute.
Yeah, I've never read the World War Z book, but I can tell you right now, the Brad Pitt movie wasn't exactly faithful.
No, it wasn't, but I'm gonna be honest. I actually don't mind the Brad Pitt movie, and I wish we had a sequel to it. I wish David Fincher would just get...
The 2019 game's the closest thing to a sequel we're gonna get.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure that takes place. Well, I think like the ending of the first movie. The ending of the first movie when they found the vaccine that was basically zombie camouflage.
Yeah.
And they just started killing up everywhere all over the world. Just started using handheld weapons to start killing off all the zombies.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense if that's what they're going with, because the zombies attack you, come after you in this game.
Yeah. Okay, I found the passage that I'm looking for. And this, keep in mind, this is what happened. This is the bomb they dropped on Raccoon City. Have you ever seen the effects of a thermobaric weapon? Have you ever asked anyone with stars on their shoulders about them? I bet my ballsack you'll never get the full story. You'll hear about heat and pressure, the fireball that continues expanding, exploding, and literally crushing and burning everything in its path. Heat and pressure, that's what thermobaric means. Sounds nasty enough, right? What you won't hear about is the immediate after effect, the vacuum created when that fireball suddenly contracts. Anyone left alive will either have the air sucked right out of their lungs, and they'll never admit this to anyone, have their lungs ripped right out of their mouth.
Well, they can't exactly admit it because they'll be dead.
Oh, he's talking about the U.S. government, because the guy who's being interviewed for that particular passage is a soldier who was present at one of the military's failed attempts at making a stand against the undead horde in New York. Fun fact, that passage that I just read from in the audiobook for World War Z, that the guy who is doing that interview, the guy who's being interviewed, is voiced by Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to the entire audio.
Were you saying that the World War Z book references Raccoon City?
I'm saying that the bomb that Mark Hamill's character is referencing is the weapon that they dropped on Raccoon City. It's the same type of weapon. Everybody thinks it was a nuclear weapon that they used when it wasn't. Even Paul W.S. Anderson fucked this up in Resident Evil Apocalypse, just one of many mistakes he made.
Those movies were just, you
could just brand that entire series.
Literally, the only reason I own them, the only reason I own the DVDs is because it has the Resident Evil name on it. If it has the Resident Evil name on it, I have to have it. Well,
I own them to serve as a personal reminder of how not to conduct a series, and how not to adapt beloved characters into another medium.
Yeah, literally the only good movie we got was 2021's Welcome to Raccoon City.
Yeah. I will defend
But
that movie to my
then
dying
Netflix
breath.
comes out with their and
with their
I'm
asterisk
gonna
Resident
for
Evil.
this, but I'm gonna get called a racist for this, but I did not particularly care for the Netflix TV show.
Well, you're not.
But
It's not racist to admit it. It's a bad show. It's an objectively. Just going off the 2 episodes I watched. The
only reason to watch this show is for Lance Reddick. That's it.
Yeah, and there's plenty of much better shows Lance Reddick is in.
He was in John Wick.
John Wick. You could watch Adam Wingard's The Guest with him and Dan Stevens. You could watch. You could watch the HBO's The Wire, which he is on.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the only issue I have with the Resident Evil show regarding race or gender is the fact that it's kind of like with the Resident Evil movies, how fans still harass Mila Jovovich.
Yeah.
The racist parts of the Resident Evil fandom are going to give Lance Reddick for this so much shit for this show for years to come.
You know who Lance Reddick could have played?
He's an awesome actor. He doesn't deserve that.
You know who Lance Reddick could have played instead of Wesker? Marvin.
Josh. Who?
He could have played Marvin.
Oh, I thought. Well, in the past, you said he could have played. He does have the facial likeness of Josh from Resident Evil 5. Just throw on some facial hair.
Yeah, he could have been Josh from RE5 if the series had wound up following like the BSAA and their exploits fighting bioterror, and you have an episode or 2 dedicated to the West African branch of the BSAA. You could have had Lance Reddick playing Josh there, or you could have a show dedicated to the Raccoon City, the RPD's failed attempt to hold back the zombies, and it could have been like a prequel series leading up to Welcome to Raccoon City. If Welcome to Raccoon City had been done slightly differently to be closer to the games, you could have had.
A TV series based on Welcome to Raccoon City actually sounds pretty boss.
You could have had Lance Reddick as Marvin.
Yeah. But according to the TV show, the Netflix TV show, and remember back when they said that this show is quote unquote set in the continuity of the games?
Yeah, that's a crock of cunt wash.
Yeah, the problem with that is, put it to you like this. At one point in the show, it's referenced that Albert Wesker actually died in 2009. And so, quote unquote, and people said, "Oh, that's how it's connected to the games." Well, unless Wesker transferred his consciousness into Lance Reddick, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's what I thought, and then I watched John Wolfe's video on the series, and it's like it's clones. The Wesker you're following the entire series is a goddamn clone.
Yeah, and there's not, and one of those one of those ones, the main one, looks like frickin' Blade, which kind of makes me want to see a Lance Reddick Blade movie.
That's supposed to be the original Wesker.
Yeah, that black trench coat.
Yeah, the black trench coat.
I thought it looked pretty badass.
Yeah, and I saw the clip of how. Of Wesker doing his Agent Smith bullshit, and it's like, dude, this looks even cheaper than the Anderson movie. Than Afterlife, and the Wesker Agent Smith scene in Resident Evil Afterlife was just cheap and clunky as all fuck anyway. Like the rest of that goddamn series.
I mean, at least Wesker in the Anderson movies actually acts like Wesker.
Yeah. Albeit...
to a point.
his direction. I mean, Sean Roberts was. I'll give Sean Roberts credit. He did what he could with material he was given, but his direction must have been, okay, how much can you act like Agent Smith? And he just said yes. I want to do a video of clips from RE5 of Wesker in RE5 and just dub over him with my Agent Smith voice.
I have 7 minutes. 7 minutes to play with you.
7 minutes, Mr. Redfield. 7 minutes is all I can spare to play with you.
Dude, that's awesome.
The fucking dogs.
Speaking of Redfield, remember during the boss battle and during the boss fight with Heisenberg in Resident Evil Village, and he says, "I'm going to murder that boulder punching asshole."
Yes.
That's Capcom doing fan service.
Capcom's embraced the meme. It's amazing. Actually,
yeah. Well, what about embracing the Redfield Bloodline meme?
Oh god, dude! If they do that, I'm gonna laugh so hard.
I remember one time Chris wanting. I remember at one point Chris losing his crap over the whole Redfield Bloodline thing, and then all of a sudden Jill's report on it was the world is suffering a shortage of blonde guys with sunglasses. Chris has resorted to choke slamming them. He has resorted to choke slamming them.
I can't do Wesker without the sunglasses. I just can't. Ugh.
No, the joke was he was going out and choke slamming every blonde guy who had sunglasses on.
Right.
One thing I'm surprised never came up during that meme when it was popular. Chris asking Ethan to continue the Redfield Bloodline, and then giving his sperm to Mia. Thank God they never went that route. I thought about it, but then I thought, nope, I'm just being the fire.
No.
I'm pretty sure the Resident Evil community on Twitter would have burned me at the stake.
Yeah.
Or it's like that Tom from Tom and Jerry reaction meme, where it's that Tom and Jerry face, like, or like an example being, uses my knife to save ammo. Everyone else at the paintball tournament.
Yes.
Or tries to pee on the side of the bowl to make less noise. My brother trying to enjoy his bowl of cereal.
Yes.
Wakes up from a nap and realizes I'm naked. Everyone else in the Walmart mattress aisle. Wakes up and goes straight to the microwave to make myself some pizza rolls. The nurse who had been monitoring my coma for the last 15 years.
Well, at that point, you're Steven Seagal and Hard to Kill.
Pretty much. Dude, you should look up Decker Shadow's Summer of Steven Seagal and watch all his reviews on Steven Seagal movies.
Oh, God.
It's pretty boss.
I wanted to do something like that last year, but I just didn't. I was working a different job from what I am now, and it just kicked my ass so hard I just didn't have the motivation to do it, much of anything. But play video games.
We gotta start doing movie reviews again in this format.
Yes. Yeah, well, I'm looking at my list of what's supposed to be coming out this year. I can barely see it.
I'm hoping the American remake of Train to Busan finally comes this year.
Yeah, well, the closest one we could probably talk about is Scream 6.
I mean, I still feel like that one's coming out way too soon, but it looks like it's going to be good.
Yeah, outside of that, we could talk about Adam Driver's new movie 65, or we could talk about John Wick 4.
Are you talking about the dinosaur movie where he goes from the future into the past?
Yeah, and it's like this.
Dude,
it's like this crazy ass like Dino Crisis Torah kind of thing.
Dude, I was going to say that they might as well draw an inspiration from Dino Crisis 3.
Well, wasn't Dino Crisis
Xbox,
2
the one that was an Xbox exclusive?
Yeah, I haven't played that one yet, but I've heard not great things about it. Didn't in Dino Crisis 2 they went like so many years into, they thought they were going into the past, but they actually went into the future, and it's this prehistoric wasteland. I think that was Dino Crisis 2. That game was fucking awesome.
Well, did you know there was also Dino Stalker, which was part of the Capcom Survivor series, but it was the only one that wasn't set in the Resident Evil universe. Well, actually, that gives me a theory that Resident Evil and Dino Crisis to take place in the same universe, which would not be surprising.
Yeah, I've known about Dino Stalker for a while. I've wanted to play it for a while. I just haven't been able to get a copy of it. Sorry, what?
Isn't it one of those light gun shooters?
It's kind of like Survivor. It's got light gun shooting in it, but I think you can actually move your character around. So it's like, I mean, I think you're supposed to be able to in Resident Evil Survivor. I think you're supposed to be able to move arc with like the A and B buttons on the gun con. Supposedly, I don't know how the fuck that works, but or maybe it was just like exclusive to the Japanese version.
I'm sorry, I spaced out for a second. What'd you say?
I think, I don't know if it was exclusive to the Japanese version, but supposedly you could control arc in Resident Evil Survivor with the buttons on the gun con and using the trigger to move to get him to walk forward.
I mean, according to Angry Video Game Nerd's video on Resident Evil Survivor, he said that it was originally made for gun con support, but he said something like, which would have made the game easy, but that's obviously what they weren't going for. So I don't know if it's both versions or if it's just the Japanese version.
I remember reading a promo for Survivor in an old GamePro magazine like years ago that suggested it would have gun con support, but you know what? Fuck this speculation shit. I've got Survivor on my shelf. I might as well just look at the goddamn thing.
I love going back and looking at those old video game magazines.
Okay.
Because, well, I don't know, I used, like, my dad would bring them home, or my dad used to get Game Informer in the mail every single month.
Yeah, I remember having
and he would just pawn it off to me when he was done with it.
Okay, well, I'm looking at the manual for Survivor, and it only shows controller support. So
gun con support would have made it a lot easier. Like if it was tank controls, he could have just pressed the buttons on the side.
Yeah, but then how would you bring up the inventory? You'd have to use the button on the back. If there is a button on the back that you use for like No, I don't
Oh, the
think there
game?
was. You just had the two buttons on the side, and you would use those to get, like, step in and out of cover on Time Crisis or whatever.
Well, the game wasn't exactly Chronicles.
Yeah. Yeah, and it probably should have been if they were going to go with that particular style of. I don't know. I don't mind Survivor. I think it's an all right game. It works. It does what it's supposed to. It's not. It can be frustrating at times, but
It
it's
was
not.
basically first-person games in the early 2000s.
It's not as bad as Operation Raccoon City, where it was like, oh, what's that? Thought you scored a direct headshot? Think again, motherfucker. Your bullet just curved around me like it's fucking like you're Angelina Jolie in Wanted. But if you aim to the space immediately to the right of my head, of my shoulder, you can find that you can blow my head clean the fuck off. Sure, Capcom, that's worth selling at $60 for $60 at retail. Sit on it and spin. Anyways, sorry about that little rant there, but yeah, that Operation Raccoon City remains the only Resident Evil game I have ever rage quit. Well, that's a lie. I've also rage quit Dark Side Chronicles because I cannot get past the Mr. X segment in the lab where you're fighting the Mr. X in his full tyrant form.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't get past it. I just can't, and I feel like a fucking idiot.
What are you trying to get past?
The Mr. X in his full tyrant form in Darkside Chronicles. I haven't been able to get past it, and I feel like a fucking idiot because I can't.
I was about to say, I've never really I've played the Chronicles games, but I never beat them, so I only beat the mainline entries, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, could you consider the Revelations games mainline entries?
I mean, technically speaking, they are spin-offs.
Yeah. And the actress is going to be in the John. Speaking of spin-offs, the ballerina spin-off
Yeah.
for John Wick. The main actress in that could be a good Joe Valentine.
Yeah. I'm
Although
very interested.
She looks like someone who would have been in the Anderson movies.
Yeah. She probably act more effectively than Sienna Guillory. Which Sienna Guillory is going to be in the Meg 2.
Well, I haven't seen her in a long time. I wonder if she's still hot.
The last movie I remember seeing her in was Resident Evil Retribution, and that was 11 years ago, so maybe she'll be all right. I don't know. I'm watching that. The only reason I'm watching that is to watch Jason Statham fight another megalodon shark.
Yeah, it's like, I swear to God, if there's a third Meg movie, I'm gonna lose it.
I don't know how many books are in that series. So I don't know.
Sometimes they make more movies than there are books.
Yeah.
Look at The Hobbit, for example. They squeeze that entire book into 3-hour movies.
Which I actually don't mind because there's a lot of stuff that Tolkien didn't fully flesh out in the book. So I don't mind Peter Jackson kind of trying to expand on the story, and it was his thing. People can like it or hate it. I don't think it was as good as the Lord of the Rings.
Peter Jackson actually did a zombie movie like decades ago.
Yeah, I forget what it was called, but
called like Dead Alive or something. It has a guy going up using a lawnmower as a weapon, like party's over, and he walks into a crowd of zombies holding a lawnmower up.
I'll check that out.
And he nearly. And there's also a priest. There's also a crazy priest who knows kung fu who starts battling the zombies.
Nice.
And I remember watching Watch Mojo's video on top 10 kills by zombies, and it was funny because, well, at one point he knocks the head off of one of the zombies and it goes into the air, but it somehow comes back down, lands on his shoulder, and bites him. and when he's he ends up so enraged that he goes to do a flying kick at a zombie, but it launches him into a statue that gives him the finger, meaning that he got impaled on the finger of a statue.
Nice.
Like Watch Mojo point blank said, throws him into a statue that gives him the finger.
Nice.
Let's also not forget about the. There's actually a moment in Big Bang Theory where Sheldon's like, "Fine, I'll just give him the finger," and he just gives a thumbs down. That's basically giving someone the finger.
Technically speaking, it is a finger. It's not the finger.
I'm just gonna start using it. Okay, I think it's about high time we start wrapping this whole thing up.
Yeah. What started as a discussion, as a celebratory discussion of Resident Evil 2, the remake, devolving into an endless parade of sidetracks and what the fuckisms.
We're called weaponized autism for a reason.
Yeah. So there's that. Well, hopefully you guys have enjoyed our endless ramblings. Whatever we decide to discuss next, hopefully you guys will
probably gonna be DC related. Who knows?
Probably. Whatever it ends up being. Thanks for sticking around, and we'll catch you later.